Welcome back, friends. Now let us discuss your ITC in special circumstances, that is section 18. So here section 18 we'll be talking about ITC, availing ITC in special scenarios or reversing ITC in special scenarios. The first part of section 18 will be discussing switch over from composition scheme to exemption scheme, or from exempt supply to taxable supply, or vice versa, or taking new registration or cancellation of registration. Now section 18 read along with section 40 talks about your switch over from your regular scheme, rather from your composition scheme to regular scheme. So when you are paying composition tax, now you tell that I want to go for regular tax, ceases to pay tax under section 10, which means that composition scheme to regular scheme, or you are talking about switch over from your supply which was earlier exempt, now it has become taxable. The exactly ulta or opposite of the same is section 18 read along with rule 44, which talks about switch over from regular scheme to composition scheme. Now you are opting to pay under composition scheme, which means that you are earlier under regular scheme, now you want to go under composition scheme, or earlier your supply was taxable supply, now it has become exempt supply. So you are talking about what? On your left hand side you are talking about your composition scheme to regular scheme. You are working at a composition scheme, now you are going for regular scheme, or you are talking about your exempt supply has become taxable supply. On the right hand side you are talking about exactly ulta, regular scheme to composition scheme, or you are talking about your taxable supply has become exempt supply. So on the left hand side, earlier you are not in a position to take the credit because either you are under composition scheme or your supply was exempt supply. Now you are in a position to take the credit. So here it is all about availment. So on the left hand side the focus is all on your availment of credit. Whereas on the right hand side, where you are talking about switching over from regular scheme to composition scheme, earlier you were able to take credit, now you are not able to take credit, or taxable supply to exempt supply, earlier you are able to take the credit, now you are not able to take the credit. It is all about reversal of ITC. So your left hand side is all about availment, your right hand side is all about reversal. Friends, you have to understand that this availment and reversal happens on a particular date. We are not talking about the old purchases or the new purchases, right? We are talking about the stock as on the date of conversion. We are focusing on the stock when you have converted, right? So this is called as transition. We are calling it as transition. We are talking about the stock as on the date of transition, So if you are talking about left hand side composition to regular or exempt to taxable, on that date of conversion you have some stock, you can take the credit of the stock of that of inputs contained in inputs or work in progress or finished goods and capital goods. You are talking about the stock, right, held immediately on the preceding day, which means that as on the date of conversion. So when you are converting, the previous day what was the stock, you are talking about that. Whereas on the right hand side, where the focus is on regular to composition scheme or taxable supply to exempt supply, earlier you are able to take the credit, now you are not able to take the credit. It is all about reversal. Now reversal will also be on the stock of inputs, whether lying as such or in form of work in progress or as finished goods and capital goods, when as on the date of conversion, immediately on the preceding date when you are talking about that conversion, right. So left hand side is all about availment, right hand side is all about reversal. Exactly opposite scenario, we are seeing both together. We are rather quickly revising both together. Now when you are talking about availment, friends, this availment will be on both on inputs as well as capital goods. On inputs, it will be inputs ITC contained on that invoice. So whatever is the stock of inputs on that invoice, you are going to take the credit. It's very simple. You take the stock of inputs lying as such or in form of work in progress or in finished goods. You have to convert it and see the invoice, what was the credit, take it. On the capital goods, it is ITC reduced by 5% per quarter or part thereof. So you cannot take the entire input tax credit on the capital goods, right? It is ITC. The formula goes in this way. It is ITC minus 5% per quarter or part thereof. Subtraction method, right? Whatever was the ITC on the capital goods minus 5% per quarter or part thereof. Friends, the quarter in GST is always calendar quarter. So if you have purchased the capital goods in the month of June and the conversion happens in the month of October, so June becomes one quarter. Why? June falls under April, May, June quarter. July to September becomes another quarter. and October per se becomes another quarter. So if you are talking about, say for example, is the focus is on say June to October, how many quarters it is? It is totally 3 quarters. So you are going to subtract ITC for 3 quarters. So assume that the ITC is 1 lakh. 1 lakh minus 1 lakh multiplied by 5% multiplied by 3 quarters. That is 15% reduction you are going to do. Right. Now that is about availment. Now reversal exactly in the opposite scenario, regular scheme to composition scheme or taxable supply to exempt supply. Reversal will also be on what? Stock of inputs as well as stock of capital goods. On inputs, the same logic. Whatever you have to first find out the quantity of inputs and see the latest invoices. Whatever is the ITC contained in those invoices, reverse the credit. Reversal same, just like availment, it is reversal. But for capital goods, friends, things are different. Here, availment of capital goods has got a separate formula, whereas reversal of ITC on capital goods has got a separate formula. ITC for the remaining useful life, which is always stated as 5 years. Capital goods is always deemed to have 5 years life in GST, ignoring part of the month, which means they are talking about what? They are telling that here the formula will be multiplication method. It is ITC multiplied by number of balance months divided by 60. ITC multiplied by number of balance months ignoring part of the month. Assume that the capital goods are used for, say 9 months and 10 days. 9 months and 10 days. What are you going to take? The number of months that you are going to take is balance life. Balance life will be, total life is 60 months. So 9 months and 10 days will be taken as 10 months. 9 months and 1 day will also be taken as 10 months. So balance life is 50 months. So ITC, whatever is ITC, say 1 lakh multiplied by 50 divided by 60. Right. So here reversal is based on multiplication method. Friends, you have to be careful. Availment was based on what? Availment was based on subtraction method. Availment of ITC on capital goods was based on subtraction method. ITC multiplied by ITC minus 5% per quarter or part thereof, and we have taken an example for that as well. Whereas your reversal of ITC on capital goods under section 18 is based on your multiplication method. Whatever is the ITC multiplied by number of months divided by 60. So when you talk about subtraction, the focus is on quarter. When you talk about multiplication, the focus is on months. When you talk about subtraction method, quarter or part thereof, even part thereof is included in that subtraction. Whereas when you talk about multiplication method, number of months ignoring even part of the month, which means that you ignore that 9 months and 10 days or 9 months and 1 day will be taken as it is used for 10 months and the balance life will be only 50 months. So whether it is 9 months 1 day or 9 months 10 days or 9 months 25 days, balance life will be only 50 months, right? They tell that okay, even if it is used for part of the month, take that as fully used. So balance life will be only lesser. So that you have to understand. So that is all about your calculation of ITC for capital goods in case of availment, rule 40, in case of reversal, rule 44. But wait, there's one more scenario. We have discussed about 2 scenarios, right? Composition regular and taxable exempt. Now there's one more scenario which talks about your registration, which is focusing on your registration. Now on the left hand side you're talking about taking new registration, on the right hand side you're talking about cancellation of registration. So section 18 read along with section 40. If you're liable for registration, but with one more condition, and you have applied for registration within 30 days. If you're liable for registration and you have applied for registration within 30 days, or it is a scenario of voluntary registration. So when you're liable for registration, this availment of ITC will be there only when you have applied within 30 days. Or if you're not liable for registration, you're going for voluntary registration, no issues. So you have to be very careful. Voluntary registration, always you'll get the credit of stock. But when you're liable for registration, you'll get the credit of stock only if you have applied within 30 days. That is very important. Right? If you don't apply within 30 days, you will not get the benefit of availment of ITC. And cancellation of registration is very simple when you are cancelling your registration. Now, why it is taken separately? Because more or less it is the same, but it is taken separately because for few changes. Now, on the left hand side, it was about taking new registration. If you are liable within 30 days, voluntary registration, no time limit. You can avail ITC. Now, before registration, you cannot avail ITC. After registration, you can avail ITC. Again, friends, we are only talking about ITC on the stock. So, here, friends, we are focusing on availment of ITC on the left hand side. On the right hand side, cancellation of registration means you are going to reverse the ITC, right? But there are certain differences. When you are availing ITC in this left hand side scenario, which means that you are taking new registration, you can avail ITC on stock of inputs but not on capital goods. That is the reason it is differentiated from transition. You can avail ITC only on the stock of inputs but not on the stock of capital goods. So when you are talking about composition to regular or exempt to taxable, you can avail ITC on the stock which is lying both on inputs and capital goods. But when it is about new registration, only on the stock of inputs you can avail ITC but not on capital goods, held on the immediate preceding date from the effective date of registration. Now, what about reversal? Reversal, they tell that even when you talk about cancellation of registration, reversal will be both. When you are going to pay to the government, they tell that reversal will be both on the stock of inputs as well as stock of capital goods. So availment is only restricted to inputs when you talk about new registration, but reversal is both on the stock of inputs and capital goods when you talk about cancellation of registration. Now, what is the amount that is important? On the stock of inputs, when you are going to avail at the time of new registration, whatever you have to find the quantity of stock of inputs on the preceding date of effective date of registration and see the invoice and take the credit. The same is true with reversal as well. When you talk about inputs, you have to see the invoice and take the credit. But wait, before we move further, let us complete availment. Can there be any availment for stock of capital goods in case of new registration? No. Why? In case of new registration, you are allowed the credit of stock only of inputs, not that of capital goods. So capital goods, nothing. Only in case of composition to regular or exempt to taxable, you can take the credit of stock both of inputs as well as capital goods. But in case of new registration, only that of inputs. So here the only change is capital goods, there is no calculation. Only change when you compare with the transition. So when you are trying to compare the first part of availment and the second part of availment, it is only the only change that you find is capital goods credit you don't get. Now you will tell that then what is the difference between your regular scheme, composition scheme, exempt supply, taxable supply, exempt supply and cancellation of registration. The difference is when you are talking about reversal, here the reversal will be maximum of, for inputs it is maximum of ITC contained in invoice which is the same or output tax payable. Friends, you have to understand it is also deemed supply. So here reversal is not only that we have discussed in the above scenario. So we have discussed reversal in the above scenario. There is a small change. What is the change? It is maximum of ITC. For inputs it is maximum of ITC contained on the invoice or output tax payable because it is deemed supply. Cancellation of registration, you become registered person to taxable person, though you are the same person for GST, you are two different person. It is deemed supply. So maximum of ITC contained on invoice or output tax payable. Even for capital goods it is the same way. For capital goods also you have to apply the same formula. Maximum of, what was the formula for capital goods reversal in case of regular to composition or taxable to exempt? Same formula. ITC of the remaining useful life ignoring part of the month, same formula, or output tax payable whichever is higher. That extra element that comes here is this output tax payable. So if I were to tell differentiate transition and new registration, the difference is you are not allowed the ITC of capital goods in case of new registration. If I tell differentiate transition and cancellation of registration for reversal, the difference is when you are talking about reversal both for inputs and capital goods, you have to compare whatever you have calculated above with output tax payable whichever is higher. That is the only change. Now friends, let us talk about certain common points. The focus is now on common points both for transition and registration. Common points for availment in all the three scenarios. What are the three scenarios? Composition to regular, exempt to taxable, new registration. Common points for registration, for reversal of ITC, what are the three scenarios? Regular to composition, your taxable supply has become exempt supply and the cancellation of registration. So when you are talking about availment of ITC, friends, ITC is not allowed whether it is on inputs or capital goods if the invoice is more than 1 year old. From whenever you are converting, right, conversion date or registration date, from that date go back and see whether the stock of inputs or capital goods is more than 1 year old, no credit. Only the stock which is within 1 year time limit you can take the credit. So when you talk about government, when they are giving credit, they tell that stock should not be older than 1 year, whether it is of inputs or capital goods. But here There's no such condition. Even if for reversal, even if the stock is older than 1 year, you have to reverse the credit. Only for availment, this condition is that stock should be not older than 1 year. If it is older than 1 year, no credit. Only if it is within 1 year, take credit. For reversal, whether it is older than 1 year or within that 1 year, reversal is there. The extra point is, if for reversal, if that invoice is not there, if you cannot match your inputs with the invoices, then you have to take the market value. You have to take the market value, and that will be accompanied by your CA/CMA certificate. Right. Now, other difference. When you're talking about taking the credit, availment, they tell that you have to apply within 30 days plus extension. So, availment, government is always trying to restrict it. So, first they tell that stock should not be older than 1 year. Second, they tell that applied within 30 days. But there is no such time limit for reversal. They tell the form. For availment, it is ITC 01. For reversal, transition form is ITC 03, and cancellation of registration form is GSTR 10. That is final return. Now, next, when you talk about availment again, if the amount is more than 2 lakhs, CA/CMA certificate. So, for availment, government wants to be very cautious. Older than 1 year stock, no credit. Next, they tell that applied within 30 days plus extension, only then you will get credit. Third, they tell that no, if the amount is more than 2 lakhs, take CA/CMA certificate. Whereas in case of reversal, there is no need of CA/CMA certificate even if the amount is 1 crore. For reversal, they tell that CA/CMA certificate is required only if you are going to take invoice, if you are ignoring invoice values because you are not able to find, and if you are going for market value, the previous point that we were discussing. If at all invoices are not there, you can go with market values. Only for that purposes they require CA/CMA certificate. If you have the proper corresponding invoices, no need of CA/CMA certificate in case of reversal. For availment, whatever amount is there, it will come and sit in your credit ledger. For reversal, whatever amount you have to reverse, you can pay it either from credit ledger or cash ledger. So whether you have the amount in, so say for example you have to pay 10 lakhs, pay it either using credit ledger or cash ledger. If you have credit, first use credit ledger, balance cash ledger. But if you have excess credit even after reversal, even after payment, if you have excess credit in your credit ledger, that will lapse. Supposing 10 lakhs is the payment, if you have to pay 10 lakhs, if you have a credit ledger 7 lakhs, pay 7 lakhs by credit ledger, 3 lakhs by cash ledger. But if you have to reverse 10 lakhs and your credit ledger is say 15 lakhs, so pay entire 10 lakhs by your credit ledger, nothing need to be paid by cash ledger. Excess 5 lakhs after reversal will lapse, it will go out automatically. So that is all about your one of the special cases of availment and reversal. Are there other special cases of availment and reversal? Yes, friends. Now, the other special cases of reversal. First, let us focus on other special case of reversal. Section 18 read along with Rule 40. It talks about sale of capital goods including plant and machinery. Right, on which ITC has been availed. Only on which ITC has been availed. So, when you are selling the capital goods, should you pay something? They tell yes. If you are selling the capital goods, it is also supply, you have to pay something, and that they are calling it as reversal of ITC. What is the amount that you have to pay? Normal case, you have to pay higher of. Normal case, you have to pay higher of. What? Depreciated ITC. What is depreciated ITC? Subtraction method. ITC minus 5% per quarter or part thereof, that we have discussed in transaction for availment. So, it is not multiplication method, it is subtraction method. ITC minus 5% per quarter or part thereof. So, on the one hand side, you will have take the ITC, subtract 5% per quarter or part thereof, and quarter is always calendar quarter. So, as I said, from June to October, it will not be 2 quarters. June per se will be 1 quarter, July, September 1 quarter, October will be 1 quarter. But wait, that is not the answer. This is higher of. Compare it with tax on transaction value, which means that sale of capital goods will have sale value multiplied with the tax rate. So, on side it is normal calculation, sale value multiplied with the tax rate. On the other side, depreciated ITC, reduced ITC, which is ITC minus 5% per quarter or part thereof, subtraction method. So, this is a normal scenario that you have to work out. Very, very important. It has been asked by ICA. Whenever ICA is asking question on section 18, one of the favorite area of ICA is section 18. They ask very basic question. So, you have to just see the question, take the sale value multiplied with the tax rate, sale value of capital goods multiplied with tax rate, tax on transaction value one side, other side take the ITC that you have availed minus 5% per quarter or part thereof, compare both, whichever is higher. But in certain special cases, they tell that if it is a case of refractory bricks, molds, dies, jigs and fixtures, and they are sold as scrap, So certain special capital goods, that is refractory bricks, molds, dies, jigs and fixture, when they are sold as scrap, not always, when they are sold as scrap, they tell that forget about depreciated ITC. Just pay tax on transaction value. So if the capital goods happens to be refractory bricks or molds, dies, jigs or fixtures, and if at all they are sold as scrap, another criteria is sold as scrap, they tell the calculation is very simple. Take the selling price, multiply it with the tax rate. That's it. No depreciated ITC. No depreciated ITC. So that is all about your reversal of ITC for sale of capital goods or plant and machinery. Section 18 read along with section rule 40. Now, let us talk about the last scenario of special cases. Section 18 read along with rule 41 and 41A, transfer of ITC. Here you are not talking about specifically about availment or reversal, you are talking about transfer of ITC. You are transferring your ITC from one person's credit ledger to another person's credit ledger. So one registration credit ledger to another registration credit ledger, you are talking about transfer of ITC. On the left hand, it's all discussed in section 18 read along with rule 41 on the left hand side, section 18 read along with rule 41A on the right hand side. Now, when you talk about left hand side, it talks about what? It is talking about sale, merger, amalgamation, lease, death of a proprietor or change in ownership. See, very simple. So, whatever credit you had, so supposing A Limited is selling the business to B Limited, whatever amount it is having in credit ledger, give it to B Limited. A Limited and B Limited are merging or amalgamating into C Limited. So, whatever credit they had in A Limited and B Limited, give it to C Limited, add it and give it. The difficulty comes, the interesting challenge comes only and only when you are talking about demerger. In other cases, it is simple transfer or simple addition. Only in case of demerger, where A Limited is split into B Limited and C Limited. So, whatever credit is there in A Limited, it has to be given both to B Limited, C Limited. Now, you have to go for pro rata basis, proportionate calculation. Otherwise, things are very simple. Sale means give the entire credit, lease means give the entire credit, death of proprietor means to give the entire credit, right? Merger amalgamation means add it and give it, add it and give it. Only in case of demerger, you have this special calculation, pro rata calculation, right? What is there on the right hand side? On the right hand side, you are talking about the same person. You are not talking about A Limited, B Limited, C Limited. Same A Limited who had one registration, say for example in Maharashtra, now is taking multiple registration for multiple places of business within Maharashtra. So in Maharashtra, earlier it had only one registration. Now it is telling that no, let me opt for, it is an optional method, optional mechanism, opt for 5 registration in Maharashtra. So on the right hand side, the focus is only on A Limited, there is no B, C Limited, etc, etc. It's only on A Limited, where in Maharashtra earlier it had one registration, now it is taking multiple registrations, say 5 registration. Now whatever credit was available with that one registration, now A Limited in Maharashtra is having 5 registration, it will try to give credit to its various registration. So there is no B Limited, there is no other person, it is only A Limited. Multiple registration within the same state, right? Now let us see the differences. When you talk about, now focus only on demerger, here the focus is on multiple registration. Now onwards the focus is on demerger and the focus is on multiple registration, right? Demerger, you are talking about A and B, rather you are talking about a scenario where A Limited, now it is divided into B Limited and C Limited, and multiple registration, A Limited one registration now is having say 5 registrations, same A Limited now is having 5 registration. Now ratio, in both the cases the interesting thing is only in case of demerger and multiple registration there are some confusion, because now proportionate, it cannot be given like just like that. Now proportionate calculation will come into picture. Now let us focus on demerger first. In case of demerger, ITC, now the discussion on the left hand side is only restricted to demerger. We are not talking about sale, transfer or lease because entire credit will be given. We are not talking about merger, amalgamation because addition will be done. We are only focusing on demerger. ITC shall be apportioned on the basis of ratio of value of assets, on the basis of ratio of value of assets of new units, and ITC should be transferred to all the new units. So 2 important points, how the proportionate calculation will be there, on the basis of ratio of value of new assets, on the basis of how much A Limited is giving to B Limited and C Limited, how much of assets is being given to B Limited and C Limited, value of the assets given to the new units, that is B Limited and C Limited. But whereas if it is A Limited, 1 registration to A Limited, 5 registration, ITC shall be transferred to newly registered entities, all these 5 registration, in the ratio of value of assets held by them at the time of registration. Again, it is in the ratio of value of assets at the time of registration. But the difference is now ITC can be transferred to all or any of the new registered entities. So it is optional. Now A Limited can decide to retain the entire ITC with the first registered unit, or it can give to 1, 2, 3, or it can give to 1, 4, 5, or it can give to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the 5. So that difference you do have. Now another important factor that you have to account, or important thing that you have to understand is what is meant by this value of assets. Should we take only those value of assets, those assets on which ITC is availed, or should we take all the assets whether or not ITC has been availed? So there is an explanation which clarifies this very clearly. Value of assets means value of all the assets, whether or not ITC has been availed on them. So when A Limited is giving the assets to B Limited, C Limited, you take all the assets given to B Limited, C Limited, don't see whether ITC was availed or not. When A Limited is getting multiple registration and transferring some assets to all these 5 new units, now don't focus only on those assets which have been given to 5 units on which ITC has been availed. Focus on all the assets which has been transferred by A Limited to all these new 5 registered entities, whether or not ITC has been availed. Now next important point, whether CMA should certify it. Yes, in case of demerger, rather in case of sale, lease, transfer, etc., anything, merger, amalgamation, in all these cases, there should be CA or a cost accountant who has to certify it, and it is with condition that transfer will only happen only if there is a specific provision for transfer of liabilities. 2 important points. When you are transferring the credit in case of sale, transfer, lease, death of proprietor, first part, merger amalgamation, second part, demerger, third part, there should be a CMA certificate. Second condition is important, the business should be transferred along with transfer of liabilities. Here there is no such CMA certificate, and there is no such transfer of liability, there is no such condition. Simple reason, you are talking about same A Limited. So you cannot talk about transfer of liabilities because it is the same A Limited. There is no need of CMA certificate. Now what are the forms that are important here? When you talk about sale, transfer or lease, or your death of proprietor, first part, amalgamation, merger, second part, or demerger, the transfer should happen in form ITC 02 along with the CMA certificate, and upon that form being accepted, the transferee will get the credit. Whereas when you talk about A Limited getting multiple registration within the same state, the old registration, the first registration should file ITC 02A, there is no CMA certificate, and the newly registered person, that is registration number 2, 3, 4, 5, will get the credit in their credit ledger once the form has been accepted. But important thing is, in case of demerger, in the first case in case of demerger, the ITC available with A Limited has to be given both to B Limited and C Limited, and for sure based on the value of assets whether or not ITC has been availed. But in case of multiple registration within the same state, ITC can be given by registration number 1 to balance registration number, or any of the registration number, either to all 5 of them or to specific of them, or to any specific of them, only to say 1 and 2 based on the value of assets transferred to newly registered entities. That is the important point, that is that we have done with the conceptual part, a circular is left out.